Good morning, top of the morning. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm going to start this rambling off saying I was wrong yet again. It does appear that indeed the Democrats have retaken the House. They were well on their way to doing it when I went to bed last night, and this morning when I woke up, they had 219, which is a majority. There's no way the Republicans are going to get the majority back. And there's still some, I think there's about 20 or so left for them to figure out. So the Democrats may increase their lead in the House, or it may narrow down. I thought it was going to be very narrow with a slim, like a 1 or 2 seat Republican victory, just based on previous polling and things like that. I was apparently wrong. So I apologize about that. Speaking of things that people believe I'm wrong about, I have not had a chance to watch the Dairy Queen's video on me yet. I do have a copy of it though. I didn't watch it last night because I am allowed to have other hobbies, and I am very interested in elections and things like that. So I spent my evening binge watching analysis of the midterms and listening to people already starting to spin to talk about 2020. If you love politics like I love politics, it's fun. And just in case anybody's like terribly worried about me being disappointed that the Republicans lost the House, I'm not. I get asked about my political affiliations quite a bit. My two favorite presidents in my lifetime were Ronald Reagan and William Jefferson Clinton. They did, in my opinion, excellent jobs. They weren't perfect. Running or funding the Sandinistas was a huge failing on Ronnie's part. And Glass-Steagall, I think, was a huge failing on Clinton's fault, or on Clinton's part. I'm also not a huge fan of some of Clinton's wars. I'm not a huge fan of some of Reagan's wars. But all in all things considered, I thought they both did an excellent job, and they both had to fight against a House controlled by the opposite party. I don't think it's a death knell. I don't think it's particularly good or particularly bad. It's just a thing. And it's part of the cycle, part of the drama. And my least favorite presidents were, in no particular order, because I thought they were both terrible, George W. Bush and Obama. Both terrible presidents. Both just horrible, terrible, god-awful presidents. Blights upon the... as you could tell, I'm not particularly partisan. Yeah, so... Now here's my confession to you. I voted for W and I voted for Obama. It's always the lesser of two evils, which is why I'm really hoping that the Democrats pull their heads out of their ass. I hope they get a coherent message that goes something beyond Orange Man bad, and I hope they present a good, viable candidate in 2020, not necessarily because I'm going to vote for it, but because I want an option, you know? If I'm having to pick between the lesser of two evils, you know, to be perfectly blunt with you, I thought that the 2016 election, where I was picking between the lesser of two evils there, I thought that was South Park got it right. What was it? A choice between a turd sandwich and a piece of shit. I thought they nailed it dead on. And then again, to be perfectly honest with you, I think that Trump has done a pretty good job. I disagreed with him bombing that air base in Syria, but other than that, I think he's done, like, the economy's growing. I can't say that he's done anything terrible since he's been president. So he may go from the president I had the hardest time bringing myself to vote for to the one of the at least top three. But then again, considering that the other people who are available to be number three are George Herbert Walker Bush, who was a terrible president, and Jimmy Carter, who was a terrible president. Jimmy Carter is the first president that I was aware of. Yeah, there's not a huge field of alternatives to take number three. So unless Trump really screws this up, and it's going to be hard for him to screw it up worse than Herbert Walker, 1,000 points of light, Bush, and I like peanuts. But terribly nice guy, Jimmy Carter. So there you go. As far as the Dairy Queen video, I may watch it today. I got total spoil alerts going through Discord last night. All of my subs were telling me everything that she got wrong, and people were telling me in the comments that, oh, by the way, Section 120 does apply to government institutions. Yes, I'm aware of that. And I don't believe I limited the potential charges that she could face to just Section 120 of the Massachusetts General Law, but we'll review the tape. We'll see what I said, and we'll see how she tried to turn Glick into a Supreme Court case, which it isn't. But yeah, I heard that it's 20 minutes that people will never get back, which is a little sad. Are you trying to poop? Or are you trying to eat cat crap? Yep, he's trying to eat cat crap. Oh, good stuff. So yeah, I assume I will make a video on it. Contrary to what Mudwheeling wants, I probably won't be kind in the video. Because, if you call me a fraud and you tell me you're going to take me down, I really do expect something better than saying a law that doesn't apply, or saying a law that does apply doesn't, and saying that a Court of Appeals case is a Supreme Court case. I don't know. We'll see. We might also take a better in-depth dive into Glick. I knew she was going for Glick. I knew she was, because obviously she posted it. I assume that she misread it. There is an art and a science to reading decisions, to picking out the actual crunchy bits, the things that pass the test of time. And yeah, she didn't, I'm assuming. But anyway, always ask yourself, if I'm so terribly wrong, why didn't she camp her dairy-loving butt in that RMV and pick up the arrest? I thought she wants to get paid. She's a money hound. I thought she wants to get paid. Think about them big dollars for a lawsuit. 1983, baby. Oh, she didn't. She's motivated by money, and yet she didn't sit there and take the arrest, which probably means she didn't have a right to be there, and she knew it. And she didn't want to eat legal fees that would get her nowhere. So, there you go. Anyway, that was definitely a long enough ramble. We're over 9 minutes. Over 9,000! And my hand is really cold, and I want to put it back in my pocket and touch myself. You're welcome. I'm sure that'll be a soundbite somewhere. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.